Question number 2, factorize. Now, the first thing you have to do is to factor out the greater common denominator if there is one. And there is one here. First, regarding the coefficients, 16, 20, negative 28, and 12 can all be divided by 4. So I'm going to factor out this 4. And regarding the variable, they all have x in common, and I'm just going to take the least exponents, so x cubed. And to know what I put in the parentheses, I'm going to divide each of these terms by the common factor. So 16 divided by 4 is 4. X to the 5th divided by x to the 3rd, 5 minus 3 is 2. So I have x squared. Negative 28 divided by 4 is negative 7. 4 minus 3 is 1. And 12 divided by 4 is 3. And this is what I have here. Now you need to make sure whether you can factor things even further. Remember the factoring algorithm? Each time you proceed with one factoring, you go back in the beginning. There is no more greater common denominator here, but it's a trinomial. So I'm going to check if it cannot be factored the way we reviewed. So you do the way you want. You can break down this middle term here, and such as the coefficients equal 4 times 3. That's what I call the raw AC method. And you can, which is what I'm going to do here, on the side or on the scratch paper, without disrupting your process for things to remain neat. I'm going to use the diamond method. 4 times 3 is 12. I'm going to report the negative 7 here. On top of those two fractions, I'm going to put ax, and a is 4 here. And I need to find two numbers multiplying as 12, but adding up to negative 7. And I've got that with negative 3 and negative 4. Now you need to simplify whenever possible any fraction. So 4x minus 3 cannot be simplified. And this one here can be simplified as x over negative 1. And that's it. I cannot factor further. For b, here there is no greater common denominator, but with two terms, it might very well be the square, the difference of two squares. So something square minus something square. Let's check this out. Well, 25 is the square of 5, x squared is the square of x, 16 is the square of 4, and y squared is the square of y. So I've got my two expressions here. So if you refer to the formula, this would be a, this would be b. And remember that a squared minus b squared, whatever a and b may be, I'll have a minus b times a plus b. So if I apply that pattern, I would have 5x minus 4y times 5x plus 4y. For c, This is actually very simple. So I have x times x to get x squared. And I just need still to find those two numbers. You can still go through the diamond method or break down this middle term here. But when the coefficient of x squared is 1, then it's very easy to do. Two numbers adding up to -5 and multiplying as -6. I've got that with -2 and -3. All done. So the reasoning behind it is that I want these two numbers, m and n, to add up, of course, to -5 in that case, but to be multiplied by a times c, which is in that case 1 times 6, which is 6. So the product of m and n is a positive number. So they will add up. They will have the same sign, both positives or both negatives. So I know they will be both negative because the sum is a negative number. So how can I get 6? I can get it by 1 times 6, but the sum is 7. 2 times 3, the sum is 5, which is what I have here. Get used to that gymnastic and practice, practice, practice.